I might be non-binary, but I'm too lazy to be non-binary.
This is Shana.
And Kris.
And we are Bad Queers. If you came out of the closet and got put in a box of stereotypes you don't belong to, then welcome to the Bad Queers Club.
All right, this week in Queer Urban Dictionary, I have PNP. PNP means party and play, which refers to using drugs to enhance sexual experiences. Within dating apps, some people use coded language or emojis to signal interest in PNP. This includes diamond or snowflake emojis, puff clouds or party emojis, or rocket ship emojis, or NASA references. And this is from Substance Abuse Philly. Sorry, Substance Use Philly, not abuse, my God. Substance Use Philly. But be careful doing this because this could lead to some abuse. Too. So, you know.
This is, you know, that would have been some sort of
rebrand it's like,
for them.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Be careful.
All right.
Careful with that.
Please. All right. My Queer Urban Dictionary word of the week is the grift. The grift. This is slang for getting money and attention by attacking progressive trans people and their political positions. So my sentence is describing more that this is perceived exploitation of queer identity, community trust, or social justice advocacy for personal fame, political influence, or financial gain. Critics use the term to describe individuals or organizations accused of insincerely championing LGBTQ+ issues primarily for profit or clout. So these are people that like false advertise, and you wonder why certain folks speak up against it, certain people speak up for it, and you're just like, how did we get here? How did this happen? We have been talking about good old Sophie for a little bit and felt like this was a definition that helped to kind of explain why.
Yeah.
So
definitely Riley Gaines is grifting.
Oh, definitely.
Officer Tatum. Because, I mean, grift obviously is, you know, can be applied to many things, especially the queer community, but especially Riley Gaines for this example.
Oh, yeah.
And all that. So.
Oh, yeah. So there you go. So, yes. Well, let's go ahead into our category is. We're going to praise, pray, tell. Our first category is hits our millennial hearts hard. Hayden Panettiere had her untimely passing at the age of 36. She is known for her roles on shows such as Remember the Titans, A Bug's Life, Heroes in Nashville. She has passed away. Her father said in a statement this past Sunday, they stated, "It is with profound sadness that we share the tragic passing of our beloved Hayden. She was an incredible light and a force of nature who brought immeasurable love and joy to all who knew her and to the millions who watched her on screen." Her father, Skip Panettiere, and he continues to say, "We ask for privacy as our family takes time to process this unimaginable loss. The details around her death are unknown and pending further investigation after an autopsy was completed Monday." Her publicist, Casey Kitchen, said an investigation would be ongoing. Naturally, there are a lot of conspiracies that are out there, especially because she was recently on Shea Petty show.
Jay Shetty. Jay
Shetty. Thank you. I was like, Shea Petty? Jay Shetty. Close enough. Was recently on his podcast, which is also in video, where she was discussing how she has more life to live. She has things that she wants to live for and that she is excited for to live a long life. And so this is one of those things where a lot of people are speculating around her previous drug use, her current relationships, how certain people were involved in her life. So just pay attention to the way that things are working, how they're shaking out. A lot of news is coming out in such a short amount of time and a lot of speculation. Naturally, because she is a celebrity, that is going to happen, but also just follow people like Here's Why Kevin, Under the Desk News, you know, people who are just like very reliable. Aaron in the Morning, like pick people who are very reliable, independent sources to get your information from, because they're going to be the ones that put out the real news. Continuing to state that according to the 911 audio and call reported on by TMZ and People, a friend found Hayden unresponsive and in cardiac arrest inside an apartment in Greenville, South Carolina. Officials were reportedly heard discussing an overdose and cardiac arrest around the time of her death. In May, Hayden had published her raw and candid memoir, This Is Me, A Reckoning, where she opened up about growing up in the spotlight as a child star, her battles with addiction, postpartum depression, and more.
This is so sad. Prayers to her family and her daughter as well, too, since she has her daughter's pretty young and all that. And just to lose a mom is really sad. A lot of her last interviews and her press tour for her memoir have been coming out, and her again opening up about her time in the spotlight and how horrific that was and behind the scenes of that, and then also her battles with addiction and postpartum depression is all kind of haunting, but also just so sad, when you have somebody that passes so young, someone we watch grow up with us, and all the things you mentioned, and plus more. So this was really sad to see. I mean, it definitely is, I think a lot of people in a bit of shock and wanting to see what happens. There's a lot of things that you said is out there conspiracy theory wise. We were talking about it before the show, and I was like, oh my God, what's out there? So it's incredibly tragic, and I'm sure we'll learn more over the coming weeks and everything, but prayers to her family, her daughter, and all those who loved her. This is so sad and all that. And I hope, people who are struggling with addiction, depression, get the help that they can. It's a lot going on in this world with people battling things, and you never know what people are battling. So, prayers to her, prayers to anybody going through addiction or depression or any of the things. So sad. It
is. Also, us as a community are incredibly unserious because somebody was already doing a video saying that we are going to be at the club crumping in her honor. And I said, please, y'all. It has not even been.
Please, guys.
It wasn't even 24 hours later. Please.
Yeah.
Please.
I saw on a serious note, actually in that interview with Jay Shetty, that's resurfacing, she was talking about how Neutrogena, who she was a spokeswoman for like 10 years plus, pretty much dropped her as a client once she did open up about postpartum depression and everything. They said it was like a morality clause thing. So I see people saying they're going to boycott Neutrogena and their products and everything. And again, more to come out because there's, people going through all of the, again, her last press tour clips and the things she was saying and all that and the things she experienced. And there's a lot of speculation again about relationships, past relationships or current.
Yeah.
So we will see.
Yeah.
So, which is, we'll see. I'll reserve my comment for more that comes out, but so sad.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this next story this was crazy. Category is My Sister's Room co-owner arrested after noise complaint. Saw this video making its rounds on social this past weekend. The Jen Chase Daniels, who's the co-owner of Atlanta lesbian bar My Sister's Room, one of the only lesbian bars that are left, by the way, in this country, said she was arrested Saturday night for alleged noise violations that she said did not come from the business, according to testimony in an incident report by arresting Atlanta PD officer Jaden Joseph. He was responding to a violation of a city noise ordinance, which is kind of crazy in Atlanta. I mean, I'm like, all right, Atlanta. Is that I would like to note for the record, I did not hear or witness any loud music coming from either establishment, he said in the report. However, I did observe My Sister's Room with their garage door open while several patrons were inside projecting their voices loudly. A lot more. I promise you, there's a lot more crime to fight in Atlanta than loud voices. Joseph alleged that Daniels refused to provide him with identification, which he said catalyzed her arrest. In a video posted to My Sister's Room Instagram on August 16th, officers from the Atlanta PD can be seen handcuffing Daniels in front of a group of people as she protests the apparent grounds for the arrest. So we'll see what happens here. It's just like kind of crazy that this was a thing over
truly
noise.
Truly. And she was walking around. She was, or somebody else was walking around, because it's not like its own bar that's on its own street that's quiet. It's on a street that has other bars near it that also play their music. And so she was walking around being able to say, like, this bar is not blasting their music too loud after this bar isn't doing that. She talked about how they had just done almost like a county council meeting to be able to measure out what space they were responsible for in terms of like the sound bleed and things like that. So they were highly aware of what areas they were responsible for in terms of the music. Also, if you're going to have the garage door open and you're going to say that they were projecting their voices loudly and it wasn't the music being DJ'd over anything, okay, please.
Truly
because
stupid.
What? And the whole time, the officers that were there, that all happened, I mean, it's Atlanta, so it was a bunch of black men that were arresting her, it just seemed like they were confused the whole time, and they kept asking weird questions. And apparently she had done a post after all of this happened and mentioned that she was held for about 24 hours. And for a lot of those hours, she wasn't allowed to get her call, and nobody could find her. Like, nobody knew where she was. So it took like a couple of people the whole day to be able to even figure out where they had taken her, because they hadn't said where she was going. So that's also inherently dangerous, to not even say this is where she is going to be held. You can come pick her up here, you know? So there's a lot of sketchiness surrounding this as well.
And such a misuse of resources. Again, there, I promise you, are way more bigger things and bigger crimes to be fighting in Atlanta than loud voices and noise and all that. But you know, this is crazy. I'm sure we'll hear more that comes out here or comes out about this story. But yeah, that was crazy to see. And speaking of misbehaving cops, this last category is flocking your ex. So there's been a lot in the news the last couple months about flock cameras and flock safety cameras. A New Bedford, Massachusetts police officer is under investigation after being accused of using a flock safety camera to track her ex-girlfriend's movements, per the New Bedford Light. In a signed affidavit, the ex-girlfriend, who is not named in media reports, said she began receiving endless calls from her ex-girlfriend, Emily Pacheco, a New Bedford police officer, in April after the couple ended their 2-year relationship. She then generated fake phone numbers to reach out to me, calling and texting, the woman wrote, per the Light, showing up to my home unannounced and refused to leave when asked. She said she saw her pull into her home while on duty, got out of her cruiser, and refused to let me leave. Per data obtained by the Light, Pacheco has been one of the top users of the flock system in New Bedford this year. Pacheco most commonly input traffic infraction as her reason for using the tracking software. In April, the month that Pacheco broke up with her ex, she reportedly ran 18 searches. By May, that number ran up to 259, with 220 searches in June, per the Light, which is crazy. Flock cameras, for y'all that don't know or have them around you, automatically scan the license plate number of every car that drives by. They've been controversial since their implementation and subsequent nationwide proliferation. While police claim the technology allows them to solve crimes faster, many critics have warned of overreach and how this data might be shared. Some have also pointed out that ICE has used this technology to track undocumented immigrants. I know here in North Carolina, an officer just got in trouble for it, for using it. So they are misusing the flock cameras. They are tracking their exes, their partners, and of course they would, right? Like, yes. This is,
because more access to more power,
man, easy too.
Wild.
Traffic infraction, and it's we're living in this surveillance state that's increasingly happening. I know that people are either taking down flock cameras themselves in some cases or vandalizing them because it is just such an overreach. I saw somewhere that somebody did sue, their city or municipality for their flock cameras, and it had gotten thrown out because they said there wasn't enough of them to surveil. But I'm sure we're going to get to a point very quickly where people are suing and it's already violating people's, rights and all that. So we'll see what happens here. But yeah, this is a terrible case of the X here. So, gosh. Police officers are interesting. So
no, for real. Also, with these flock cameras, they don't have to get as much permission. I'm gonna botch this, but hopefully y'all follow me in general. They don't have to get as much permission to be able to go and check into this. So it's not like they have to get a warrant to be like, yep, I need to check the flock camera or anything like that. They just have to have a reason to check it. And also, they don't have a limitation based on your jurisdiction.
It's a nationwide.
Yeah, like that's a nationwide search. So if you had an abusive partner who was a police officer and you left the state, they can check to see like what path you took and where you went and all of that, because there are still no rules that are going against this. I hate it here.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy. we have no parameters in place protecting us from these most like just invasive, crazy things. Like it, again, is a very much turning into a surveillance state, which they want to, but this is why it's dangerous. And, police already showing their ass about it is crazy. I saw even out here, their solutions for like combating misuse has been crazy, where they're like special codes and monitoring. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. The police policing themselves. Like that's always effective. So we'll see. It's very, very, very interesting. I do think it gets sued into oblivion, and I'm not sure how they get out of this, but we also know that the courts are very friendly to law enforcement. Yes. So we'll see what happens here. Truly unhinged. My goodness. That search history is crazy. She went crazy in May and June. She was like, what pride is she at? Where is she going? So
no, for real. Who's she with?
Who is she with?
All probably stalking all of those people as well. So it's not. It's just giving what they've looked at for her partner and not for whoever else she was with, because that if you go on that level of stalking.
Yeah.
It's not just that one person.
Yeah. And I think, let's see, I think she got suspended. I know the person here in North Carolina just got suspended. I would hope so. With pay, because how that goes. But yeah,
it's like on the job, which is also crazy.
On the job. Yeah. So, and very dangerous for the person there. So, let's see what else. Did they say what happened to her? Pacheco was served in an abuse prevention order last week by a judge who determined that Pacheco posed a credible threat to her ex-girlfriend's safety. The judge also ordered Pacheco to give up all of her firearms. Her license to carry is also suspended. Pacheco is currently facing an internal affairs investigation, though police did not confirm to the New Bedford Light why she is being investigated. So we'll see. I mean, Massachusetts is more progressive than most, and one of the more progressive states that we have. So maybe they're like, I mean, if they took her firearms, and that's a start. And her license to carry. So, but still, if people want to wild out, they usually do. So yep. Keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on the flock stuff in your area, because again, they're popping up everywhere, and it's pretty crazy. Scary.
It is. Well, we can't just end on that. We had these ones written down, but we do have the breaking news that came out today. So bonus category is we called it. Y'all can say that we called it because it's in an episode and it's recorded that we said most likely WNBA All-Star 2027 was going to be hosted in San Francisco. And as of today, Valhalla was announced that next summer, WNBA All-Star and the surrounding festivities will be at San Francisco, with the Valkyries hosting at Chase Center.
Yep.
Kathy, she came up there. She said some positive words talking about they're thrilled to bring AT&T WNBA All-Star to the Bay Area for the first time. Golden State Valkyries have brought incredible energy and excitement to the WNBA from the moment they were announced as an expansion team in 2023. I mean, Natalie is eating it up. The whole organization is actually eating it up in general. So we love that. Response from...
Did she win last year?
What, this year?
I was saying she was coach of the year, but I was like, again, right? If she were to win again this year, she would be coach of the year 2 times in a row.
Yeah, it would be like 2 times that a new team has gotten to the playoffs, and probably 2 times that team's coach got coach of the year if she wins it this year. Yeah, so
she should.
They're basically saying they can't wait to see all of this energy in full force. This announcement also comes less than a week after MLB announced that San Francisco will host the 2028 All-Star Game. So Bay Area is about to be hosting all of the All-Star games coming forward.
Very cool.
So I think Bay Area is the perfect place. I know a lot of people were rooting for Atlanta. Atlanta would not have worked, y'all. I'm just I mean, saying.
Clearly. Can't even be loud.
With how big it was. Like, if it had been prior to this past year, maybe. Because the past year, it was in Indiana. It was on like one street, and everything was right there on that one street. After showing how huge it was, yes, it was the 30th anniversary, and that's why it was hosted in Chicago, and that's why, all the infrastructure was here to be able to do that. But you cannot go back. It was such a time to be at All-Star Weekend that they are going to do it big. And San Francisco is way more walkable. There's a lot more public transportation. There's a lot more hotels to be able to host everyone in. The Chase Center is huge. And I know that they're going to set up amazing activations, because not only is the Chase Center its own cool arena, it is also, there's outdoor. A bunch of outdoor space places. And they're going to take over all of those places and set up for different events and things like that. Like, it is made for that, and I am so excited. I've already texted the friends and shotgun my places to stay, because I might have to bounce between houses. I don't know, but I've already texted them and called it and said, no, my reservation is booked. I will see y'all in 2027. And I'm very excited to go home to the Bay. It's going to be great.
I'm so happy the Bay's getting it. The game will take place, the actual All-Star game, July 31st. So at the Chase Center. So, and after a weekend of activities that they have planned in the region. So yeah, shout out to the Bay for that. They deserve. The Valkyries deserve. That team deserves. Or that, fan base, all them. Shout out to everybody out there. So, cool.
Yes. So excited.
Well, let's move on to our advice segment, Am I a Bad Queer?, where we give you goodish advice for your questions and dilemmas. Send your questions to badqueers.com. Hit us up on IG at badqueerspod, or email us at badqueers@badqueers.com. All right, this is another circle back. This is from AZ that says, Dear Bad Queers, so much has changed since my last write-in. Wanted to give an update on my progress. I've met someone new, and she is amazing. We are engaged, and she has been really supportive in my journey. She's pushed me to start therapy, and I have acknowledged that I am trans. It was way deeper than just a beard. I'm going to start my transition later this year, and she has been 100% supportive of my transition. She has mentioned to me that she has identified as a lesbian, and my transition has her questioning her sexuality. She is the love of my life and my best friend, and honestly, the only person I've told about my transition. She has made it clear that she loves me unconditionally. I don't want her questioning herself because of me. How can I help her understand herself better during this process? AZ. First off, congratulations, AZ. I'm glad you found somebody who is affirming you as you start your journey. And this is a time to, affirm her back. She is, if she's questioning her sexuality, she's going to be on the journey with you in your transition. So, I would say initially, and maybe this isn't the right answer, that she doesn't have to necessarily identify differently immediately. I know that even with the transition, but y'all could figure that out together. That's going to be an exciting part of this, is that y'all are able to grow and, have somebody on this journey as you both figure things out and all that. As long as you guys love each other unconditionally, Like that's the most important part of it. So, be open to wherever the road and journey takes her and all that. Look into some resources for folks that have gone through this. Maybe there's like a subreddit, with trans men that you can ask a question about folks who have actually been through this process with their significant other and get some tips there. But I'm sure there's some resources online and everything to help both of you during this process. But the main thing is that y'all both support each other. Y'all love each other unconditionally. So the labels and all that other stuff, y'all will figure it out and it's fine. And y'all don't have to, there's no due date to this. So, again, congratulations. I'm glad you have somebody who's in your corner and affirms you. And I know you'll give her that back. So
100%. I think this is just an opportunity for you all to deepen your relationship. This is also a conversation that has been posted online a lot, and people have posted different videos and things like that. If there's ways for you to go and search for some of them to see how other couples have been able to identify their journey, because while you are also reckoning, like Kris said, with a new identity, your partner is also reckoning with what does this mean? Because I love you, and but also, it's almost like, you're thinking of your driver's license, like you moved and you feel like you have to update your address immediately.
It's not gonna expire.
Like you're good. You have some time to kind of discuss what that looks like. And as long as the core is what it is, and I think that's something that you all should talk about, where it's like, yes, I hear you saying that you're questioning your identity, making sure that at the end of the day, you two are on the same page of how you feel about each other, and that you two are on the same page, and that, yes, you are navigating this together in different ways, yes, but the way that you're explaining that she has been supporting you and been showing up for you and doing all of these things is a great opportunity. And you even reaching out to us shows how much you care and are wanting to be sure that you are there supporting her. So being able to continue to show that same energy to her is great. There's so many other identities that are there. So she will land on an identity if she chooses. Like sometimes folks are just like, no, this is how I want to stay. This is how I feel in my heart. Even though my partner is this is how I'm working, but maybe something will land for her. And that's totally fine. But as long as you two are there at the core of, hey, I love you, you love me, we're a happy family. That is the key thing. And everything else is taking the time to research what some other terms are. I know that we've listed a ton. I'm not saying go back through all of our episodes and listen to each one, but taking the time to kind of like Google what some of those other terms are and see if they fit. Again, look up some of those videos from other people. There are great trans like pages to follow. And one recently, I'm blanking on the name of it, but it has a bunch of couples who are varying identities, but at least one of them that's in the relationship, if not both, are trans, and they talk about what those journeys look like. We've reposted them a bunch of times, but hopefully you can find them. It's a cute little like tan background, and they're sitting on a couch, and it's couples that get to talk about what that journey was like. So being able to find that, maybe watch that together, plan that for a cute date night of let's, like research and chill and watch some of those videos and just kind of hang out and bond together and really understand, what is it that she's questioning. Is it questioning out of fear or questioning out of excitement to explore more or things like that? It sounds like it's just kind of, she has made this statement and you don't know what to do with that statement. Take the time to really understand where she is coming from in terms of realizing that her identity may be shifting and what that actually means for her, so that you do have a better way to support. So yeah, I mean, coming from, I have your previous Am I a Bad Queer that you wrote to us a few years ago, and at that time you identified as non-binary, and that was when you had recently come out as non-binary and you were obsessed with growing a beard, and now look at you. You've really come into your own, you've really grown, you've been able to do all these things. And at the time you have a loving girlfriend who was the person who was using your correct pronouns and things. You have been lucky in life to be able to have partners that have been able to show up for you in that way. It sounds like this is maybe a different person than that. And that's really cool to be able to have that happen when you when you came out as non-binary, and then to be able to have that as you come out as trans. So you're doing something right and putting some right energy out into the world to have these partners. So be sure that you are giving that same energy back.
Congratulations, by the way.
Yes.
That's great.
And thanks for continuing to trust us with your your evolution as you'll see it. So congratulations. So happy for you.
Right back. Let us know how it goes.
Yeah. Do that too. Thanks, Izzy.
Also, show us your beard, when it comes in and everything. So probably I just love to see it. Just take us along your journey. We're kind of here now. Take us
the whole way. We're invested.
Take us all.
We're really invested.
Yeah. Let us know.
I love this. Well, thank you for writing in, and we're excited to hear from you next time.
I love beards, by the way. That's why I said that. Just seemed cool.
I knew that. Oh yeah, we got to tell the people. Yeah.
I like beards.
Man, I went to Club One Bedroom this weekend, and there were some high quality beards. High quality. First of all, the party was fun as fuck.
I want to go so bad.
Had a blast. Friend, whenever, for anybody. And like when we went as well, I don't know if it was because the first DJ was like a popular queer DJ here in Chicago or what. Gosh. It was so queer.
So you're going to be on the YouTube? You need to let me know when that comes out because I love Club One Bedroom. So
I was so excited. It was such good mixes. And DJ Honeybee was one of the DJs. And then we had DJ David and we had DJ Cashera, who is a popular Chicago DJ. A time was had. Friend, I sweat like I did when we went to the club in college. Okay? That was how hard I was dancing. Nonstop. Moving and grooving.
Oh,
it was great.
That's really cool.
It was great.
Shout out to them.
Yeah. Had a blast. So, yeah.
Cool.
All right. Well, our next Am I a Bad Queer? Quick intermission. Comes from Bianca. Bianca asks, am I a bad queer for letting my mom think I'm single? I'm in my 30s and have been with my girlfriend for almost 4 years. My mother knows I'm queer. She knows my girlfriend exists, but I don't bring my girlfriend to family events. My mom says she accepts me, but still makes comments like, you don't have to make everything about being gay. My girlfriend thinks I'm allowing my mother to disrespect our relationship. I think I'm protecting my peace. Here's the messy part. My mother is actually wonderful to my girlfriend when they're together. She just refuses to acknowledge her as my partner afterward. My girlfriend says I'm choosing my mother's comfort over her. What do I do? I mean, you're not really letting your mom think you're single because mom knows that you in a whole relationship and just likes to put on a show. This is one of those, Bianca, I'm assuming that you black. I'm assuming because this sounds like a black ass church color thing to do. Yeah. Like truly black ass church mom thing to do, or a Latina. I can feel
that's what I was saying. I was like, one or two, or Asian,
anybody on the spectrum.
As well.
Yes, somebody on the spectrum. Of this is over here acting like that, like, oh, I'm not a terrible person when I'm in person with her, but I am not going to address your personhood in that. And I can see why your partner is upset by that. And that's something that I understand that, like, you're probably saying, choose my battles because my mom is treating you kind. She just, won't acknowledge our relationship. That feels like a win to me. But when your partner is actively involved in this and doesn't want to play in the charade anymore, that is something to address. That is something to address. Whether you come to, a peaceful moment with you and your partner, or you decide to step in and address your mom and be like, if we're going to be around and we're going to be in the same space together, that means you have to show respect to me and my partner. I also feel like you have an old school mom who's going to be like, well, you got to respect me because you're my child. And that's a whole other conversation that we could get into. It is up to you at this point, Bianca. Do you want to appease your girlfriend or do you want to appease your mother? And that is the decision that you have to make.
You're in your 30s.
At the end of the day, that is what you have to choose because, we haven't even said this in a while, Kris. We haven't said this in a while, but it sounds like you're in your 30s, which means you're probably making your own money, paying your own bills, living in your own house. Mm-hmm. What do you have to lose at this point?
Yeah. You are a bad queer for this because it's just like, if she knows you're queer, she knows your girlfriend exists, but she's your little friend. Like, it's just like, come on, you could just tell her that is my girlfriend. We are romantically involved. You love her. It's almost 4 years. If I was your girlfriend, I'd be so annoyed at you because you are choosing your mother's comfort over her. And it's like, there's no reason to, because if you were truly protecting your peace, then you would just tell her. And then whatever happens, happens, because you don't have to have an argument with her. You don't have to have discussions about this. It is what it truly is. And that's it. Like, that's the long and the short of it. That's my girlfriend. that's it. We're romantically involved. You know, you don't have to tell her y'all are scissoring, but you could just say that's your girlfriend. Like, it's okay. I promise it is. And let your mom adapt around that and all that. We really, and this is a Black and POC thing, not saying it doesn't happen on the white side, but we really are too protective of our parents sometimes, where it's just like, no, sometimes they could be uncomfortable. It's okay. It's okay. And let her be able to grow from that uncomfortability. Or you should see that if she's not going to grow from that uncomfortability, you should know that. You should know that as soon as possible. So then you can act accordingly, because, you know, I don't know what is in store for you if you want marriage or any of these things, you know, and you don't have to want marriage or kids or anything. But if you want a long-term relationship with someone, they're worth being acknowledged. We've given this advice many times before, but you can just, it's so normal being queer. It's so normal being trans. Like, the more you just talk to people and make it normal and just a part of your life, like, they'll adapt to it. Humans hate change, but they also are very resilient and they will adapt. And the ones that don't, again, shows you a lot, and you'll be able to act accordingly. So you are back queer for this, Bianca. Please just tell your mom. It doesn't have to be a big thing. You could just be like, you know, such and such is my girlfriend, right? Like, romantically, like, that's not my little friend. That's not my roommate. That's my girlfriend. So, you know,
you look at her every time she says it, just be like, so, like, if you got to be annoying about it, if you got to do whatever, every time she's like, your girlfriend.
Yeah, correct
Partner.
her. Yeah.
Girlfriend.
It's your partner. Significant other. Your significant other. Significant. So that should be significant.
Heavy on the significant.
Your mother or your family and everything. You shouldn't be ashamed of it. You shouldn't have a different title for them. That is your significant other. That's someone you love. That's someone who I would imagine has told their family about you. So if you can't do that back, I would have serious questions about you. It is a red flag not to do this and all that. I know we haven't talked about that before, but I do think that's a red flag, especially 4 years in. Jesus Christ.
4 years.
Yeah.
Just like, letting this happen.
God damn.
Like she knows.
Yeah.
And also, she probably feels a big type of way that you don't bring her to family events, also that you can be a bit more comfortable.
Yeah.
If your mom accepts you, then she has to accept all of you, which includes the people that you love. Like you said, oh, my mom accepts. Like, yeah, you said accepts in quotes, but when you still make comments, I was like, you know what? I feel like that's a backward opinion that we should be discussing, where it's like, clap back at your parents. Yeah. When they say stupid shit like how your mom says you don't have to make everything about being gay, I was like, you know, pick the thing that she does. I was like, and you don't have to make everything about Jesus. You don't have to make everything about whatever.
Sure,
clap back at your parents.
Leave him alone. Leave Jesus alone.
Clap back at your parents.
Yeah, you should have some go-tos for sure.
Need us to do. We should come up with some. Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, come up. I mean, it's very specific. You can, you know, just workshop it, you know, what you need to do. It doesn't even have to be super disrespectful. It just needs to be a quick comeback, like just a reality check. Like, wait a minute, you know.
Wait a minute.
So, Bianca, do the right thing here, okay? Enough.
Significant
other. Significant.
Heavy on that.
Yeah. All right. This last one is from Jackie. Jackie asks, am I a bad queer for not posting my partner? My girlfriend is upset because I don't post her on social media. I post myself. I post my friends. I post my dog. I post my food. I post memes about being gay. This sounds like early Instagram, the good old days.
No, for real. Yeah.
I just don't like posting about my romantic relationships. She says that's because I'm comfortable posting queer content, but won't post her. It feels like I'm hiding her, and that's not it. I simply don't think Instagram needs to know who I'm fucking. She says if I were really proud of her in our relationship, I'd show her off and post her. No questions asked. I responded by telling her it's my Instagram and I could post what and who I want. Who's wrong? Jackie, we
have two bad queers today.
Well,
because I also kind of like get it.
I get it, but I also understand too, because I don't know. It's just like social media is a lot, and like people do pay attention to these things. Like I saw somebody say it. There was like a video of somebody being like, once I see a couple stop posting pictures of each other and are posting quotes, like they go into overdrive of like, oh yeah, they've broken up.
Yep.
So some people do watch your relationships. I do understand some people don't want to have people in their business, which it sounds like you don't want people in your business, but I think both of y'all are wrong. I think you could post your relationship or your person like once or twice, you know. I think y'all could get to a happy medium of like, you are proud of her. It's not like you're ashamed, or I don't think you're ashamed. So you can post her, but I would also be like, hey, I'm not posting everything we do. I'm not going to put us in our stories and everything. You can set your boundaries about the amount of times you're going to post her, you know, and I think that that's like a fair thing, but I understand wanting to be posted. Me and my wife still have these conversations about that. Like I don't really post as much on Instagram at all anymore. Like I have my favorite platforms. I'm on YouTube a lot. I'll get on Threads. I get on Instagram still, but like I don't post a lot, and my wife does and all that, and that's fine, at least in her stories. But I don't know. Everybody has just different behavior with these social media apps. The algorithms, your people might not even see you posting, because the way these algorithms are, it's not even like, you know, how it used to be. So I don't know. I mean, I think you should at least post her once so that there's at least you've done that, but or twice, maybe you say 2 per year or something, whatever number you come to. I think it should be something you're comfortable with, where you're like, okay, I'll post you on holidays and that's it. Or I'll post you for your birthday. And that's anniversary, you know, and then outside of that, like, that's it. Like, and I think that's kind of where me and my wife landed. Like, I was like, I'll do it for big stuff, like in anniversaries. We're coming up on our 7th marriage anniversary, which is crazy. But
big 7.
Yeah, I'm not going to post all the time. It's too much. It's too much. I'm not going to keep doing that. Like, we have enough photos. I certainly, you know, we get enough memories in our phone too. You know, Apple always does little memories and all that. Like I, you know, again, there's a happy medium for both y'all to kind of compromise on and all that. So, you know, I don't think she's asking you to post all the time either. So she just wants to be acknowledged.
Stories exist.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not one of those that likes to post a lot on your grid, like, yes, it's very clear what you put. I can hear it. I can hear you being like, this is all that I post. And you probably don't even post that much. So I get it. I am also a person who really doesn't post my partner. And even if I did, it's like, unless it's for the key birthday, holiday, whatever, they're 9 times out of 10 buried in my like carousel. And like just in there, I'm like, you like number 14 to 16, and it's not because I chose that on purpose. It was just the vibe of the post. So I get that. I'm not a big social media partner person either. I had two. My ex and I had broken up, and this other person that I had started dating went on my Instagram and was like, your ex is still posted. I went and looked at my Instagram. I was like, where? And then I realized that she had gone in and like scrolled to see where I posted her. And I was like, girl, that's like 2 posts and maybe 1 that was for her birthday. And that was it. And you're like, your girlfriend's still up here. I'm like, I don't even remember it. Also, it's my Instagram. I can post whatever I want. So
yeah, I do get you on
leave
that.
it at that. But those are the things where I'm like, I don't even feel like fighting it. Like, just leave me be on that front.
Yeah. I also think it is a difference between like, you know, my wife has a point. We're married, you know, all that. Like, it's a solidly kids, house, all that. Yeah. You know, even with the kids, like you know, their birthdays are coming up. My son's is coming up
the
end of this month, and my daughter is Big 2 weeks after that. So we're gonna have some new pictures up there.
She's gonna be a whole
just
one.
Crazy. She's one. She might as well be 2 at this time, in her mind. But like, you know, for no shade, but you know, the unmarried folks, I could see y'all being like, because I don't want to go back through and have to delete these photos, even though that's not the hardest thing in the world to do. It's not the worst thing in the world to do. So I don't know, y'all could find a happy medium. I'm sure there's something where you like, hey, get your outfit ready for Thanksgiving or Christmas or Hanukkah, whatever you're celebrating, New Year's, like, we're gonna post, okay? And then that should be fine. But again, you could set the limit for how much you're gonna post, because you could still do what you do and all that. But
Yeah.
if you do post a lot, like you post your friends, you post yourself, your dog, your food, memes about being gay, I'm sure regularly, then I'm sure she's like, all right, like I could be in one of these, like, and even Barry, like you said, you could do up to 20 sides. You could put her on 17, if you want to, bury it. But you have to understand that some people do like being acknowledged in that way. Like my wife does like that. So it's nothing, like it's truly nothing to just post, but you can have your boundaries. It is your page. So you don't have to post all the time or whatever she's pressing you to do. So y'all figure that out. That's an easy one to figure out. So you're both wrong. Look, you're both wrong equally. You're just both wrong.
By the way,
by
the way, to solve that argument, both of you are wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You can figure it out.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was this week's Am I Backward? I think we gave goodish advice again, as we tend to do. You could send your questions to backwards.com, hit us up on IG at backwardspod, or email us at backwards@backwards.com.
All right, what type of backwards will we be if we didn't have unpopular queer opinions? All right, my bad queer opinion this week is tying back into my queer sports are popping back up, but also I've been in more queer professional spaces recently and just kind of like back around queerness. Like, it's not like I've not been around it, but I've realized, that's true. More so, I'm going to say more so in the sports area. I think because I've expanded some of my sports area into more of the straight football areas. And I just want to give a happy reminder that, hey, just because we're queer doesn't mean that we can't be competitive. And that like we can't talk shit, and that we can't like celebrate, and we don't have to make it just like how we do every other place where we make it inclusive and welcoming and all these things. I think us playing sports or doing different things that involve competing and us talking shit and doing this stuff is healthy. And then we come back together afterwards. I think a lot of us take it way too seriously and become a bit too sensitive. And I don't even like using the word to this or to that, but man, the way that folks will adjust rules and guidelines to make sure that everybody feels like happy and soft and things is like, yes, I can see, because overall the league is happy and the league is doing the things. But man, like, what are you talking about? I am playing against dogs, okay? I am playing against absolute dogs.
You want to be able to talk your shit?
I want to talk my shit, okay? When I do something against that dog, I want to be able to talk my shit. And because they are a dog recognizing dog, they're going to be able to talk that shit back, and then we're going to be fine afterwards. But man, the way that sometimes we as a community clutch our pearls whenever there is any sort of what could be deemed as a negative interaction. Is like, no, we watch the WNBA all the time. We watch the NWSL all the time. We watch rugby all the time. We are competitive. Volleyball all the time. All of it is competitive. They're out there talking their shit, and then they come off the court, they come off the field, and it's completely fine. I want us to be able to have those environments to talk shit. Sometimes these leagues and these spaces are trying like so hard to make it so safe that we like limit other forms of expression, because also at the end of the day, it makes those expressions palatable for the white queers and not for everybody else that's in there, because there's a lot of BIPOC and Black people that are playing in there, and we also want to be able to express it, but because it clutches the pearls of typically the white gays, it's a problem. So I just wanted to address that in terms of, let us just be competitive and make sure that we're setting rules that make sure that at the end of the day we're playing a recreational sport for the most part, and we can go home because we got to go to work the next day. That's what I need.
Yeah. And to that, it's in the confines of sport. So, obviously you don't want to get out of hand with the shit talking, but that is also just a part of sports. Like, and you don't even if you're not a shit talker yourself, you could be like, all right, bet, you could it just heightens the stakes and everything. I think maybe sometimes there are people who didn't grow up in sports or around sports, so that's a little jarring for them. How it could get, or what people say, where it's just like, oh my God, like, what do you mean you're gonna fuck me up? It's like on the field, not like outside of the field. But there should be the space to allow that. And sports aren't soft for the most part. They're just not. and all that.
Correct.
And again, it doesn't mean you step out of bounds and, be calling people out their name and be like, I'm going to fuck your girlfriend. It doesn't have to be all that.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be.
I was like, we don't have to go that far.
Get out of hand.
I'm going to be like, you thought you catching that ball against me? All right, catch me next time.
Right.
Catch me next time. Doing the things like, let me talk that shit.
Yeah. What's your go-to? What kind of shit do you talk?
Here's the thing. I'm like Diana Taurasi in this. I never start the shit talking, but I will finish it.
All right.
Is the key thing. But I also don't act out like Diana did. Like Diana went out of her way to, do some of the things. Me, somebody has to say something to me first. So like I had a teammate that I played against last season. She was my tackle teammate, but we were playing in our flag league, and she came out and she immediately saw me and was like, "Yeah, Shana, I got your number. I be sitting here shutting you down like I shut you down at practice." I said, "Like you what?" She's like, "You heard me. You shut me down she was like, "I'm gonna shut you down like I shut you down at practice." And I was like at practice, huh? Okay. I go. Next couple plays. Wait a second. Next play, I do this incredible move against her. I catch a touchdown between her arms and catch it. I look at her and I said, like at practice? Is that what this looks like? Me scoring against you? Okay, I'll come back and do it again if you missed it the first time. Like, let me know. Like, I sit and I take notes and then I use it back against them. That's how I talk my shit. I never started them.
Okay. Well, that's good. And that's a part of sports, and that's something that's a part of sports that we shouldn't get rid of. So y'all don't have to be gentle about that. Maybe not sensitive, but you don't have to be gentle about it. Sports is competitive for a reason and all that. So
yes.
All right. And don't be letting Shana catch these balls on y'all like that and score a touchdown. Like what? Like don't let her do that. Shut her down.
Don't play with me.
Whoever that
don't
was.
Play with me. Because you
Shut
can't.
her down. Shut her down.
Because you can't.
Shut her down. Lock her down.
Just know that she can't.
Lock her down.
Know that you can't.
Lock her down. Okay, just don't be
don't play with me. Place to begin. Right. Super prizes.
Well, my bad queer opinion. This was an interesting one. Hopefully, it's not offensive, but my cousin Chelsea was in town this past weekend. We had a very good. I know.
I was waiting to hear something from her visit. I'm surprised I didn't.
Oh yeah, it was so fun. She's so funny, and congratulations to her. She just asked her her girl to be her girlfriend, and she did this really elaborate thing of like how she did the note cards and bought her a necklace and everything. But she also has such a journey dating, and this girl seems great. I'm not gonna jinx it, but she seems great and all that. So congrats to them. But very fun weekend. But we were talking about a bunch of different things as we normally do. But my bad queer opinion is that I realize that I might be non-binary, but I'm too lazy to be non-binary. Like I don't want to like explain to people or correct people or go through the whole thing of it. And I told her if maybe 5 to 10 years earlier, probably be okay. But I was like, I'm too old now. I don't want to, not that others can't do that as they're older, but yeah, I just think I'm a little too lazy to do all the things. It feels like it's so much to explain, and I don't know if I really truly care, because we were also talking about being misgendered and like how much we used to care, but we don't really care anymore and everything, because it's just kind of like, how we present is like, I'm sure you might think I'm a man. But it's always funny when we like talk and seeing the panic in somebody's face, like, oh man, and all that. But I was like, I probably would be, but I just, probably too lazy to do so. Just like she hates the label of lesbian, like just through and through. She hates the label of stud, but she's very studdish. But we were just talking about labels and all that. And I don't know. I arrived there. I was like, I might be non-binary, but I'm just too lazy to be and all that, that's where I am.
It's the most hilarious
good conversation
coming out
just of drinking. Right. That would be my how I came out.
This is actually the exact way that I
mine would
think
be. My pronouns are like
as
maybe non-binary. Would be like maybe non-binary question mark.
You said maybe they them.
Maybe they them. Yeah. Look, they them question mark would be
question mark.
Yeah, that would be me. So
But you saying it in this way, in this context, is the most you I could ever imagine. I hate that I'm laughing at it.
Feels about right.
Like,
feels about right.
This is so accurate.
It is. I was just like, I just don't want to go through all of it. I just told somebody about the we just talked about the significant other and everything, but I just, it would be so much. It just seems so exhausting, and it probably isn't, but that's also part of the laziness of it. So shout out to the people who are non-binary and G and C that aren't lazy and are stepping into their identity. I was like, yeah, probably. But
I feel like there's a lot of people who feel seen by this. And I'm very glad that you're speaking on it, because I'm sure there are a lot of, I think I've heard other folks say that, where they're like, no, I'm pretty sure that I'm non-binary, but I just don't have the time or the effort.
Yeah, I just don't. I'm tired. I'm a mom, have a full-time job. I have a wife. It's just so much. I got to get groceries. I have to put a kid in pre-K. It just seems so much, and it probably isn't, but it just feels like it's a lot. Like,
you're just like,
I did do the ADHD diagnosis this year, so maybe next year will be the non-binary. But maybe this is my way of coming out. This is my soft launch to being non-binary, is to say I am, but I'm too lazy.
The more things you say, I swear,
it lines up. It makes sense. It makes sense for sure.
100%. That's why I'm laughing so much, is because it does. From the way that you are announcing it, to how it came about, of you and Chelsea drinking and talking, to all of this, like this is 1,000%
lines up, doesn't it? Yeah,
to a T. And I love that we're all here to witness this, and I'm glad that other listeners get to. I know, why I'm laughing at this, because I'm like, motherfucker, of course, and that's of course how you would say it, and that is sending me. But I'm so glad that other people are getting to witness this, because this could have been a FaceTime.
Maybe there is a tribe.
This,
but
I'm so glad.
Maybe this is so many people. There's a tribe of us. Maybe
are
they them?
With
question marks?
You.
Yeah, like. It's just, I can't even imagine trying to take Carolyn through this. My mom, my God, like even moving back to the South, I told her, I joked with her and I was like, since I moved back South, I'll put the L back in salmon for you, but I can't imagine trying to just retrain her on they, them. My God, it'd actually be very funny, but, good Lord, God, it'd just be so much. So just, it's a laziness, but maybe there is a tribe of people who feel me on this, and
there's 100% a tribe of people, especially in the South.
Especially in the South,
especially
Jesus
in the South.
Christ, it's just so much.
Like, you're in community. Like, if you're in the Bay Area, I feel like that would be them clutching their pearls.
Yeah, like, why? Just do it.
No, we're affirming you.
Jesus.
We need to affirm you in all of this. Like, you would have an overwhelm of affirmation that would come, because people would want you to feel like you could be in your identity 1,000%. Where folks in the South are like, nah, I get it. Same. Yep.
Right. Yep.
But you can misma'am me all day. It's fine. I'll live.
I care less. I don't care anymore. I really don't care anymore.
Misma'am, Mr. Sir.
Mr.
Whatever.
Sir.
Do what you want.
Mrs. Sir, whatever. And gender in general, with small children, has been interesting, even teaching Emory and everything. So, he'll every now and then be like, yes, sir. And I remember, who was here? It wasn't my mom that was here, because she hasn't been out here yet, and I've been shading her about that. Yes. I was like, just moved across country. I guess it doesn't matter. And my mother-in-law also has come down twice from Rochester. So I was like, I don't know. It just seems like some people care and some people don't care about their kids. Yeah, I know, exactly. But I didn't really actually correct him then. Sometimes I don't correct him, because I was like, actually, today kind of feels right. So whatever's respectful. I know people do and say, but I arrived there with Chelsea. So that made sense and all that. And I told her, I don't know what label she wants. And she doesn't have to have a label. Nobody has to have a label.
Nobody does. But there's so many. If you need one.
There are.
So many.
And some do fit some people. Because I was like, I know you don't want to be a lesbian or a stud, but you are both. Like, heavy. Especially stud. Jesus. Like, I was like, if I were to just sketch out you would be a picture I would use. But she doesn't have, she doesn't have to. She doesn't have to. We used to fight about this, but I was like, why am I fighting her? I don't care. And all that. And I told her also, too, because she's going to turn 30 next month. And I was just like, hey, you can do whatever you want. Okay? Because you're washed. now.
Wow.
Welcome.
She's growing up so fast.
Welcome.
She's turning 30.
Yep. 30. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like,
wow. Look at everybody.
Welcome.
Everybody in your family just growing up right
I
before
know.
my eyes.
Right before her eyes.
Remember when she was in her mid-20s, just making all sorts of crazy decisions. And now she's asking people out in really intentional ways and turning 30. Chelsea, I'm so proud. I'm so proud.
She has had such a journey. She loves love as well, but she has been through the ringer of it. I am glad that she has stayed. I had to get her from being a femcel because there was a time period where she was come on back, because she was gonna femcel it, but she's back in love, and they're coming up on actually a year, so she really took her time with this one, so I'm very proud of her. So all right, well, that's all I got.
This was great. Wow, what a great conversation.
Yeah.
Great conversation. Let's go ahead and wrap up the show. But we would never leave you without giving shout outs to our faves. My shout out this week goes to Sapphic Ja. It's a grassroots organization dedicated to creating spaces and opportunities for women, non-binary, and trans folks of color. They also collaborate on lots of events with some of the folks that we have shouted out recently. They're in New York, I believe, and they partner with a bunch of those groups and stuff. So you can check them out at Sapphic Ja, J-A, on IG.
All right, my shout out is to the book The Rhythm of Raine at Dawn, a Black Sapphic Romance by Aricka Alexander. This book follows dancer Raine Williams, whose viral choreography video for R&B star Dawn Anderson leads to an unexpected professional collaboration and romance. Ooh. Haven't read this yet, but I want to. You
sold me.
Yeah, I know. This sounds great. I was like, oh, I'll take it. You could follow Aricka Alexander on IG at Tay and Friends Universe. We'll have it in the description. Sometimes when it's a really long username, it's like, oof, gotta break it up.
Yeah,
because there's probably some dyslexia here too. See, and that's what I'm saying. Add it to the list. Like I'm old.
No, but honestly, over the years, you've done
dyslexia.
Your improvement on your reading out loud has been great.
Thank you so much. That means actually a lot. It's been great. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Like, I used to have that anxiety too. I hated public math. I did public math the other day and figured out something before Chalet. So who knows what my 40s have in store for me, like that was huge, like public math, and then got it right. And before Chalet, Jesus. But reading out loud also too was not an easy feat. I was definitely a shy kid. So I did not want to read out loud. Like, why do we have to play popcorn?
So much.
Why do we have to play the popcorn game? Please don't call on me. So yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you so much, friend. And y'all make sure to check out our Patreon, our pre-show, because we got an update on Shana's dating life, which y'all should also good tidbits from. Good tidbits from. Yeah.
Good tidbits. Yes.
Yeah. Shout out to everybody who is a Patreon, and y'all.
Yeah, because we've had
continue to support us.
Some more people getting in there and joining. Also, shout out to the people who have sent us funds on Venmo. I can't always, sometimes I can back, and then sometimes I can't. So we haven't ignored the fact that you have sent us money on Patreon. We just can't. It's not like a two-way street when it's a business transaction. So it's like you can't always just be like, hey, thank you, or anything like that. Venmo. But this is me saying, on Venmo. Okay. So this is me saying, and us saying, thank you so much. Some people have really sent us a decent amount of money, and it has helped immensely. So thank you all for your support, being able to help us keep this podcast going and making sure that we can be here week after week. It is very much appreciated. Every dollar that is spent with us goes right back into the podcast. So
literally counts.
We appreciate you in all the ways for supporting us. Thank you. Yeah. And then you get, interesting tea. You do. And, our Patreon, our plans start at $1. So for the folks that don't want to break their budget and it's harder times, like even $1 a month counts, so especially if that adds up. So certainly thank you for your support and all that. We really appreciate it. All right, y'all. Well, that is the show for this week, and we will see you next week.
Take care.
I'm sorry that I'm